Did you know some of the biggest mistakes older adults make aren't about their health or finances, but about what they share with their own children? Most people think that being completely open and honest with family is always the right thing to do, but after 70, total transparency can sometimes lead to consequences that destroy your peace of mind, damage your relationships, and cause you lifelong regret. Experiencing these regrets is truly a difficult experience. If you are over 70 or caring for aging parents, this video can save you from the painful mistakes that thousands of seniors wish they hadn't made. In this video, I share the story of 76-year-old Dorothy and 6 important lessons you should never tell your adult children. Every piece of information I share is invaluable. Each lesson cost her dearly, either emotionally, financially, or in terms of family harmony. You wouldn't want to be in her shoes, but Dorothy hopes that by sharing her experiences, you won't have to go through the same pain. There are truly important lessons to be learned from the negative situations she experienced. This isn't about lying or being dishonest. It's about protecting your dignity, independence, and family harmony. Stay with me until the end, because the final secret is the most dangerous. Many seniors reveal this secret too early, leading to the most devastating consequences. These situations are very difficult to deal with in your 70s. Let's begin. Secret 1. Never fully disclose your financial situation. Dorothy made this mistake at age 72. One Saturday evening at dinner, her son Mark asked her how she managed her finances after her husband's death. Maybe he didn't mean any harm when he asked, or maybe he did. It doesn't matter now. He had asked. Dorothy, wanting to be open and honest as always, made the big mistake she shouldn't have made and told him everything. She said she had $380,000 in savings. Her house was paid off. She received $2,400 a month from Social Security and a small pension of $800. She had disclosed everything, down to the last penny. She would later realize what a mistake she had made, but it was too late. He thought he was just being honest with his family. Within 2 months, everything changed. It was hard for him to believe, but these things were happening. Mark started suggesting that his daughter help with her college expenses, saying, "You already have enough savings." How dare he ask this? But he did. His daughter Linda implied that her mother should pay for the family vacations, saying, "You can afford it more than we can." He was shocked by these absurdities, but it was his family who wanted them. His son-in-law asked for a gift to replace their old cars. Suddenly, every conversation, direct or indirect, turned into a request for money. The situation worsened. Every day, she faced different and absurd situations she never expected. Dorothy's children started fighting with each other over money. It was her money, but the children were fighting over it. Mark thought his mother helped Linda more because he saw looking after his grandchildren from time to time as a financial contribution. Linda, on the other hand, thought Mark was getting preferential treatment because he had asked for a loan first. Dorothy also realized that her children now made decisions based on her financial situation. She couldn't believe she was going through this. Was this really happening? "Mom, don't worry about that expense. You have savings," they began to say. They no longer asked her what she wanted. They told her what to do. She couldn't help but feel how ridiculous the situation was. They weren't even aware of the offense they were committing. She had lost her independence. Financial transparency had turned her children into advisors and critics. No one had asked them to do this. If she had just brushed off that question at that moment, perhaps she wouldn't have had to go through any of this. Elderly counselors and psychologists see this situation frequently. When parents share their full financial details, adult children unknowingly develop expectations, make plans, or feel entitled to that money. They thought what they were doing was perfectly natural and normal. Even with good intentions, they cannot help but include their parents' wealth in their own plans. Dorothy also realized that her children now made decisions based on her financial situation. She couldn't believe she was going through this, Was this really happening? "Mom, don't worry about that expense. You have savings," they began to say. They no longer asked her what she wanted. They told her what to do. She couldn't help but feel how ridiculous the situation was. They weren't even aware of the offense they were committing. She had lost her independence. Financial transparency had turned her children into advisors and critics. No one had asked them to do this. If she had just brushed off that question at that moment, perhaps she wouldn't have had to go through any of this. Elderly counselors and psychologists see this situation frequently. When parents share their full financial details, adult children unknowingly develop expectations, make plans, or feel entitled to that money. They thought what they were doing was perfectly natural and normal. Even with good intentions, they cannot help but include their parents' wealth in their own plans. They foolishly believe this is actually natural. If there are multiple children, money becomes the biggest source of sibling rivalry. In fact, this was completely unnecessary. Dorothy now says, "I wish I had just said, 'I'm fine, thank you for asking.' Your children do not need to know your bank accounts, investment portfolio, or monthly income. If they are genuinely concerned about your well-being, it is enough to tell them, 'I'm doing well financially.' Protect your financial privacy. This is not dishonesty, it is wisdom. In a way, it prevents potential chaos within the family." Secret 2. Don't share every health detail or medical diagnosis. When Dorothy, 73, was diagnosed with early-stage osteoporosis, she immediately called both her children to tell them. She thought they would want to know. But this started a chain of overreactions she couldn't control. Her daughter Linda began calling twice a day to check on her. Her son Mark researched the illness online and sent her 15 different articles, most of which contradicted each other. Neither her son Mark nor she herself were scientists. It was perfectly normal for them to read, but they all expressed different opinions. The real problem was that her children no longer saw her as strong enough. In their eyes, his independence seemed to have lost its importance. Imagine how you would act in such a situation, and please share it with us. Linda said he shouldn't live alone anymore. Mark suggested he shouldn't drive, saying, "What if you fall outside?" They started making doctor's appointments for him. They started showing up unannounced to check on her. They were doing it for someone they loved, but they were increasingly interfering in her private life and overstepping boundaries. Every conversation revolved around her health, risks, and limitations. Dorothy felt suffocated, infantilized, and deprived of her freedom. The situation became unbearable with each passing day. Her children meant well, but their fears turned her into a patient. She was no longer a mother, but someone who needed to be looked after. She felt helpless and needy. Dorothy realized this. Adult children, under their own stress and responsibilities, cannot calmly manage their parents' medical information. They panic, create disaster scenarios, and start trying to control things. These weren't things done with bad intentions. However, it was a situation that exhausted her and caused her distress. This does not mean hide a serious illness. If it's a life-threatening situation like cancer, or if major surgery is needed, of course they should know, because hiding this information can really lead to painful consequences. But every ache, every test result, every minor diagnosis doesn't require a family announcement. Your health is your private matter. Share what is necessary for safety and planning, but protect yourself from the anxiety that too much information can bring. Even sharing more than necessary can cause problems. Dorothy now has this rule. If the situation doesn't affect my own care or require help, I keep the health details to myself. After making this decision, her relationship with her children dramatically improved. It may have been the best decision she ever made. She now felt a little more at ease in this situation. Secret 3. Don't share your opinions about your children with each other. Dorothy's most painful and lasting damage came from this mistake. One evening, her daughter Linda was complaining about her brother Mark. "He never helps with family matters. He's only focused on his career," she said. Dorothy, wanting to empathize and be supportive, said, "You're right, dear. Mark has always been a bit selfish. Even as a child, he always thought of himself first." She wanted to be supportive, but she lit the fuse of a disaster. During the argument, Linda repeated these words to Mark. Mark was devastated. He couldn't believe his mother had said such things behind his back. "Did you always see me as selfish? Did you always favor Linda?" he asked. Dorothy tried to explain, but it was too late. The atmosphere at family gatherings became tense, and Mark barely spoke. Linda felt guilty. The sibling relationship deteriorated further. Dorothy realized that when you say something negative about one of your children, it inevitably reaches them. And when it does, it is perceived not as a momentary outburst, but as a lifelong thought. Family therapists constantly warn about this. The role of a parent requires remaining impartial, supportive, and fair, even when the children are adults. Criticizing one child in front of another creates division, jealousy, and emotional wounds. Dorothy has now learned to remain neutral. When one child complains about another, she just listens and says, "That must be hard for you. Have you talked to them about it?" She no longer takes sides, agrees, or comments. The task is to show love, not to take sides. Secret 4. Keep your will and estate plan. Private Dorothy, at 74, thought it was responsible to sit her children down and explain her will in detail. She had divided her assets equally between Mark and Linda and left a few special items to her grandchildren. She wanted to avoid surprises and show that it was fair, but this explanation backfired immediately. Linda resented that her grandmother had left her jewelry to Mark's daughter. Mark, on the other hand, perceived Dorothy's decision to make Linda the executor of the will as a sign that she trusted her more. The two siblings began to question Dorothy's decisions, suggest changes, and argue about how fair it was. Worse still, they began to treat Dorothy with the expectation of an inheritance. Mark started visiting more often, clearly wanting to look good. Linda, on the other hand, made insinuations like, "Things have changed now. You should update the will." Every family gathering now took on an atmosphere of who will get what. Dorothy also lost her flexibility. A year later, when she wanted to leave a larger share to a charity she considered important, her children reacted strongly. "You're taking our inheritance away," they said. Her own money, her own decision, had suddenly turned into a family feud. Probate lawyers are clear on this. Your will is private. Your children have no right to know about it. The moment you share your estate plan, expectations form, comparisons begin, and family relationships deteriorate. If your children ask, simply say, "I've arranged everything fairly with my lawyer." Everything will become clear in due time. You don't have to go into details. You don't have to explain yourself. And you should never allow pressure to be exerted on your decisions. Dorothy eventually revised her will, made her lawyer the executor, and simply told her children, everything has been legally arranged. Then peace returned. Remember, estate planning is not a family debate. It is your private decision. Secret 5. Don't announce new relationships or friendships too soon. Dorothy felt lonely for 2 years after her husband died. Then she met a man named Richard at the senior center. He was polite and cheerful. They drank coffee together, went to the movies, and shared their days. Dorothy began to feel happier than she had in a long time. Wanting to share her happiness, one day she told her children about Richard. The reaction was immediate and harsh. Linda said, "It's too soon. It's disrespectful to my father's memory." Mark asked, "Who is this guy? Does he want your money?" Both made it clear they did not approve. Dorothy tried to explain. She said Richard made her happy, that she hadn't forgotten her father, that she just wanted friendship. But the children wouldn't listen to her. They started showing up unannounced to check on her when Richard was home. They made cold, suggestive jokes. Linda even secretly researched Richard's past. The relationship that once brought Dorothy joy had now become a source of stress. Dorothy felt like she had to hide like a teenager. She felt guilty for her own happiness. Finally, when the family pressure became unbearable, she broke up with Richard, against her will. A year later, she felt deep regret. She had given up her own happiness to please her children. She wished she had kept the relationship secret at first, until she was ready for it herself. Then, her children's reactions wouldn't have been so intense. Psychologists see this situation often. Adult children struggle to accept that their parents are still individuals who need love, friendship, or intimacy. They perceive new relationships as either a threat to their inheritance or disrespectful to the memory of the deceased parent. This leads them to try to control, interfere, or even sabotage the relationship. If you meet someone new after the age of 70, don't announce it right away. You don't have to report your social life immediately. You can introduce them once the relationship has solidified and truly gained meaning. But giving your children the right to veto your emotions is surrendering your freedom and happiness to them. Secret 6. Don't reveal your past. Regrets or family secrets you've been hiding for years. This was Dorothy's most painful lesson. When she turned 75, she wanted to confront her past and ease her conscience. So she decided to tell her children a secret she had kept hidden for 40 years. When she was young, she had a brief affair during a difficult period in her marriage. Her husband never found out. She had lived with guilt for years. She thought being honest would ease her spirit, but her confession destroyed her family. Her son Mark couldn't forgive her. "My whole childhood and my perception of my family changed," he said. He didn't speak to her for over a year. Her daughter Linda was a little more understanding, but she was also shaken. The once strong family bonds were now filled with pain and mistrust. Looking back, Dorothy realized this confession was selfish. It did her children no good. She had only burdened them with her guilt. She had poisoned their memories and their feelings about the family. Therapists often warn, if the secret you are about to reveal will not truly help benefit your children, keeping it to yourself is often the more compassionate choice. Your children do not need to know every mistake you made in the past. Some truths only cause pain. They do not bring solutions. Some burdens are yours alone to bear. Dorothy says she wishes she had shared these feelings with a therapist instead of her children. Perhaps then she would have found peace and not damaged her relationships. Now she has a new regret. I wish I had never spoken. Final thoughts. After 70, wisdom is not just about what you know, but about knowing what to share and what to keep to yourself. Dorothy learned these 6 lessons through pain, conflict, and regret, and she shared them with you as best she could so that you wouldn't have to learn them the hard way. Your adult children may love you, but they don't have the capacity to carry every detail of your life. It's not something they can control. It's just that the process of living drives them to do these things. They have their own stresses, biases, and limitations. Complete transparency sometimes creates only excessive burden, conflict, and loss of independence. Boundaries are not walls. They are shields that protect peace. Keep your financial information private. Avoid conflict and expectations. Share your health status only as much as necessary. Protect your independence. Do not take sides in your children's relationships. Let your estate plan only come into effect after your death. Do not disclose new relationships before they have matured. Think twice before revealing past regrets or secrets. This is not about being dishonest. It is about acting wisely. Keeping some things private is not about hiding. It is about preserving peace and respect. If you are over 70, ask yourself these questions. What have I shared that I regret? What boundaries do I need to set? What information should remain private? If you care for elderly parents, ask yourself, do I respect their right to privacy? Or do I demand unexpected openness from them? Thank you for watching Dorothy's story. Share in the comments which lesson resonated most with you, or which boundaries you wish you had set earlier. If this video taught you how to avoid mistakes, please like, subscribe, and share. Every lesson you learn makes you a little wiser, even the painful ones. Remember, protecting your privacy is protecting your peace of mind.